Welcome back, folks. I'm Wrath, and let's go ahead and get started. We're back in Hellion today. We just actually finished raiding this ship and murdering its crew. So now we are going to go ahead and target that automated factory, and hopefully we will be able to draw in a little bit closer to that. So it's about 30 kilometers away. And normally I would say that that is not an ideal distance. I would power up the engines, but I don't like using the engines at all in this game, mostly because they don't tend to work out that well for me. You can do them, and they can massively increase your speed so that you can cover these really long distances, but they rarely ever work out in a way that you would like. So like right now I'm trying to bleed off lateral speed here. So I'm going to try and center this. Okay. And now we're going to try and add mostly linear speed, which is my approach speed. I'm going to try and cut some of this down here. So the lateral speed is basically how fast you are moving side to side or up and down in comparison to your target. And in this case, that's not something I really want to have a lot of. Let's go ahead and check this here. And this game can really get going here. Alright, so, sorry, I was distracted by something here. I generally tend to prefer this sort of slow boat method of approach because it feels, at least to me, far more in control than you can ever expect to be with the rest of this. Because I'm moving over 100 meters per second, so 0.1 per second, a little bit over. And that lets me approach just fine as far as I'm concerned. And then we'll slow this down, and since I took that other guy out, I don't have to worry about his ship, him popping back into the game and bringing his ship over to mess with me. Uh-oh, did I just... I didn't take some damage, but what was that? Oh, we just did take a hit. Okay, we're taking hits. That is debris that we are now... Yep, see the little flashes of debris? We're into a debris storm. So we're closing in on this thing, but we're passing through the debris cloud. It's alright. The ship's in relatively good condition, so we can always raid this and then get out of here later and repair it up. Ooh, those are some big chunks flying around. Oh, took another hit. Ugh, come on. Alright, we're closing to 7 kilometers. And normally I got my guy Dark and Claw with me here. And he and I are raiders extraordinaire, but we're also, we're a fairly efficient team. And I definitely recommend, for those of you who want to play this game, I definitely recommend that you find somebody who complements your strengths in the game, so that you're not just trying to do everything. Okay, come on, slow down. Okay. Slow down, slow down, slow down. Reverse the engines. Okay, bring this around. Okay, line up, line up, line up. Oh, there it is. Oh, what did we just hit? We're at 400 meters. Come on. Okay, we're drifting slowly away. Oh, come on. Let's put that behind there. So you can stop whining me. Okay. Alright, so ugh. That sun is really toxic in my eyes. It's the one thing I hate. It's like when you got a bad angle and there's really nothing you can do to cut out the glare. Okay. Okay, so let's try and get through this as quick as we can. A couple of things we're checking for is turrets. Now there shouldn't be any turrets here, but that doesn't mean somebody might not have imported some. Roll back on the engines. Let's get real close here. I have a tendency to try and get super close with these things. So I don't like my exposure time. Alright. Distance 62 meters. And let's match. Alright, we are locked in. Does not appear to be any turret there. Okay, check our inventory. We still got plenty of oxygen, fuel, and power. Alright, let's go ahead and leave the torch behind. Perhaps a few more catalysts would be nice, and some resource injectors, but for the most part, we're doing alright parts-wise. Could use some more servo motors. So we'll keep an eye out for that. got our rifle. And we need to ditch these fuel cells, so we're going to go ahead and take those out of the ship and dump them along the way. Alright, and again, always seal your ship. If you haven't learned that by now, you're probably not going to last too long in this game. Okay. Seal and lock your doors. Okay, close the doors, depressurize. Now, I've seen some people who operate on this idea of going ahead and opening their front bay door because they can load more stuff quickly. And for group play, that's not a bad idea. But for individual play, that's a horrible idea. Because you're... Oh, helmet back on, please. Don't know why I did that. And see, like, it's okay for me to leave that doorway open because the inner door is what's locked. Okay. And let's start getting in. Now, before I start ransacking this hangar, I want to go ahead and check the far parts of the station. Okay. We've landed. Alright. Looks like no power. So let's go ahead and chuck our... Put that away. Let's go ahead and chuck our empty canisters here. Okay, and toss that one. And that one. Okay, so alright, let's turn the lights on here. That's got materials in it, so we'll take it, and we'll take that one just because the red ones are worth taking. These other ones are not so much. So, but there's warp drive parts here. Take that. Lots of medical supplies, but I don't know that we really have room for any more of them. Life support. Nothing. Come on, warp cells. What is your quantity? Okay, that's good enough. Power. Got anything for me? Nope. Okay. Okay, nothing there. What have you got in you? Whatever it is, I don't care for it. Empty, empty. No warp cells there. Okay. Let's go check the rest of the station. And somebody has left this whole thing depressurized, which is not good. Couple magazines there. Okay, guns up. Alright, so somebody depressurized this whole thing. There's the crowbar. Okay, we need to look for parts. So let's go ahead and collect plenty of this ammo here. Alright. And they don't let us access any of these parts on the wall here, which is fine. Okay, so far we've gotten one warp cell, which is at least an improvement. More than likely, though, we're going to have to raid other ships for warp cells. Okay. And life support parts. No. Alright, so we've gotten all that we're going to get out of this station, at least in the short term. I don't think that it's worth hanging around because the danger is very real. I hate it when people do this where they just blow out the whole station because there's other options. Okay, and tab to get off. Okay, it's got nothing. Don't know why people drop their things down here like that's going to somehow do any better for them. Okay, time to check up top, and then we're out of here. Now the crowbars are nice weapons. For melee weapons, and just the pistol. Okay, so these things are pretty locked down in terms of what they have, but we're gonna get out of here before we overstay our welcome. We've solved our fuel issue, so we have plenty of warp fuel now. I saw a couple of these containers. You got anything? Nope. You're junk. Alright, well, let's go ahead and get out of here and get back to the ship. And hold on just a second. Right. We're going to go ahead and pick up afterwards. Until next time, I'm Wrath, and I hope you have enjoyed this little show of mine, and we will get clear here. All I'm going to do is, since I need to get going kind of post-haste here, tell Mama I will go. We're going to go ahead and pressurize. Going to get to the inner door here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to push ourselves away from this station with our primary engines to get ourselves off the orbit, and then we will come back to this later. I unfortunately have to run out and get things going here, so we will have to wait until later. Alright, just a few moments here. I have to actually run out in about 2 minutes here, so this is going to be kind of a short video. Alright, and again, seal the door. Now what I like to do alright, Bether's there, so we're gonna actually wait, let's activate our engine while the engine's powering up. We will go ahead and start turning the ship, put on our docking camera. Point our tail right at the planet and power up the engine. So this will push us to a fairly high rate of speed. Alright, so now we're on that. Let's check our navigation to see how that has affected our ship. And there you go, we're on an outward trajectory away from that station. And let's go ahead and warp back to our station. Let's go ahead and use that fuel cell. Okay, and we have taken a little bit of damage, but anybody that's trying to trace us will have a hard time keeping up with us because we're moving at almost a kilometer a second. Alright, locked in. Alright, and just about ready. A couple of seconds more and we will make the jump. Anyway, if you've liked any of this, please subscribe. It really helps me know that I'm doing a good job for you guys. You can get this game on Steam. It is in early access, so don't expect everything. You will have crashes and stuff as things go along. I'll go ahead and shut that off because it draws too much power. Until next time, I'm Wrath. Please like, subscribe, and until next time, I'll catch you on the flip side.